Salute, salute. What's good? We live. He tapped into the fly frequency. If you listening to this on the replay, if you catching the replay, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like button, yo. If you coming in here on the live, do the same. I would appreciate it if you smash the like button. The Cash App going across the bottom along with the PayPal. You already know what it's hitting for with the super chats. And we gonna talk some boxing on this Sunday night or Monday morning, actually. I just wanted to get some bars off, y'all. Talk a little bit about this situation with Boots, man, at 154. So we got Boots up there at 154, man. Still the same thing. Virgil playing games, Virgil side, people, man, people they don't want to recognize Boots as being the guy that we know he is, but it's these fighters, man, that's not willing to get in the ring with him, man. But my thing is this though. You got Eddie Hearn, supposedly steering this ship for Boots and everything. And I'll be the first to say that, by me, I think that Eddie Hearn has been doing right by Boots. I don't really think that Eddie Hearn has been doing a bad job, with Boots as far as getting him the fights and everything. He got him, a fight here, in Philly, another one close and everything. I think he's doing his job as far as getting Boots good fights, but ain't much he can do as far as these other fighters getting in the ring with Boots. But that's where it changes now at 154 with this win with Josh Kelly over Bakram. We saw we saw Josh Kelly get that title and everything, and I think that the stars might have aligned for Boots. Eddie Hearn really, I think it's his job to make that fight right there. Josh Kelly versus Boots at 154. That's a shot. That's a fight that has to happen. That's a shot that he has to give Boots. But at the same time, you giving Josh Kelly a shot too. I mean, I don't know if Josh Kelly would just be trying to duck Boots or whatnot, but I would think that he would want that fight too. Boots having the mystique around them and everything, all the hype around Boots, people ducking them and all of that. I think he would probably be looking forward to a big fight with Boots, in his country, And I think that's a fight that, he gotta make that fight, man. Eddie Hearn got to make that fight, or he need to kick rocks, man. Boots need to make him kick rocks if he don't make that fight. Now, I did hear from an interview that he kind of did have that fight lined up for Boots and Josh Kelly to mix it up, even before the Bakram fight. And so, I can't really say that, Eddie Hearn's not doing what he's supposed to do, but I did hear somebody say that he came and shot that down. I don't know. I didn't see where he came and shot that down. So, salute to Ray Davis, man. We got Ray Davis in the building. What's good, Ray?
What up, though? What up? What up, champ?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm just talking about this Boots situation with Josh Kelly and the need for Eddie Hearn to step up and make that fight, man. He need to make this fight for Boots, man. I think it's a very important fight, man. Right here, I think, he need to get Boots established at 154 with a belt. And then I think it'll be more of a reason for some of these guys to get in the ring with him. So,
yeah, shout out to Thomas Hill, the hitman, for paying his fees to the club.
oh, Tommy the Hitman Hill here?
Yeah, he paying his fees, bro. He just said it. You got to pay your fees to get into the club over here. So, he just paid his fees. He a Johnson bouncer.
Salute to my Aki. I got Claymore Rain here too. Assalamu alaikum, Aki.
What up, Clay?
My guy was good, right?
Chilling, man. But go ahead, Frequent.
Hey, you hear we was talking about Clay? I was talking about the need for Eddie Hearn to make this fight between Josh Kelly and Boots, man. I think it's a must that he, make this fight right here to kind of get Boots established at 154, with a belt, and hopefully that'll encourage more of these somebody hop in the ring with him, if he got a belt. I'm hoping that.
Yeah, I agree. I think um I don't think it's a must. I think it's a good thing if he does it for sure, but I do think that we have to take in consideration that Josh Kelly has a career as well, and depends on what he wants to do, right? I think it benefits Eddie Hearn and Boots if Josh Kelly keeps it in house and gives Boots an opportunity. But I mean, let's be honest, Josh Kelly, does he really think he's going to beat Boots? Who does he think he has a better chance with? And also, where is there probably more money for him and, an opportunity to become a 3-belt unified champion, maybe even get a little, maybe even get a lineal belt out of it. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, we got to consider that side of the conversation as well. But I think for Boots, yeah, it's an important fight. To get him a belt makes it a lot easier for him to get in the big fights, in the big conversation. But at the same time, I don't think Xander ducking Boots. I think Xander will fight Boots, but it's about the right fight, the right time, the right opportunity, the right reward. The risk is there no matter what. The division is jumping. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, there's going to be risk there. But yeah, there's all these different moving parts to the conversation.
Yep. I kind of counted that a little bit. Not for you to say so much, Clay, but I think you're hitting the nail on the head. But where I see a difference is I don't think people Flyer is afraid to fight Boots at 147. I'm sorry, 54. I think the issue is the fact that the money isn't right in a lot of these fights. Maybe because of Boots in or who Boots is, the name itself. Then you also have to look at who they're not willing to fight, because they're not calling out everybody. It's really what the fans want to see, which is we only heard Virgil, we only heard Josh Kelly, right? He's only looking at the top tier fighters. There's fighters that are there as a Brandon Adams. I'm pretty sure that would take the fight. I'm pretty sure Crowdy or whatever his name is, not Crowdy, the dude that just fought over what's the name? He would take the fight. There's a lot of these fighters that will take this fight with Boots because they also want to put themselves in a position. The thing is, those are high risk, low reward fights, and some of them are just no reward, just to say the least. So they don't look to that tier of fighter. So we have to look at where we want Boots as fans and where the realistic situation is for Boots to make fights. Boots just wants the name because he's been fighting the tier of fighters that he's been fighting his whole career, because that's all he can get. Now that he has a former champion under his name, he wants to taste of gold. Like, he really wants to fight other champions or fights that are big paydays instead of just taking on fights that are challenges. I don't care who he fights, bro. I'm being honest with you. I'm not. I just want, if he wants to get in the ring, he wants to stay active, just make a fight happen. That's the way I look at it. It is what it is.
I mean, but the scrutiny that he's getting is from him not fighting the top tier of fighters, in these divisions. So I think that, it needs to be somebody with a belt.
See, and that's what I'm saying. That's the need. Like, why does he need to fight somebody with a belt?
I mean, if it's not Virgil.
Okay, but it may be like for our sakes as fans looking at it as that, but the activity is where the problem is, right? If you're not willing just to fight I wouldn't say mediocre, but a top tier, like not really elite fighter, but a good fighter or a great fighter that can potentially give you a good fight, then what are we talking about? That's where we have to really separate ourselves as boxer fans from boxing fans. And the boxing itself is going to always have a fight. Fights will line itself up as time goes on. It's not so much as him being ducked, bro. It's just he's not looking to make fights with just anybody. And I understand, like, at the end of the day, like, I understand. But he actually can make fights. There's fights out there for him.
Yeah, I think that Boots activity is very important for Boots, and I think that's something that Eddie is going to deliver on. Because I think I heard, I know some people are talking about, this doesn't happen, that he needs to move on from Eddie Hearn. I think that's the worst move he could ever do. Eddie Hearn is keeping him active, and Boots is still, had one touch at 154. The more active he is in the division, the more dangerous and the more acclimated he gets to the division, the more dangerous he is for anybody he gets in the ring with. I think it's important he moves correctly. You got to respect the space and know that the Xander's eyes is the Josh Kelly's, and clearly Sebastian Fundora, who nobody's bringing up, and I think that's because we've already kind of accepted the fact that the PBC's, it's a difficult negotiation to do, because that's really one of their only big fighters right now that they have that they can say, okay, we can put him on a card. I mean, I don't think he's holding that much weight, but I don't think they're ready to let go of his one belt, or, Keith Thurman, whatever it is. They're going to try to protect them just the same way they protected Rolly Romero. So Jerron has to play the field. He has to be patient in the situation at the end. He has to be patient. He's ranked very high in all of the sanctioning bodies, so he's in position to get something soon, but he wants to stay active. He doesn't want to stay stagnant chasing a belt so much that he's not inside of that ring. So if the next fight ends up beating a Rashidi Ellis or Israel Madrimov, or a top 10 fighter, then as fans, I think you guys, the fans of Boots, got to accept the fact that activity is very important to him, and acknowledge the landscape and support him in the fights that he's able to make happen until he gets the right fights. It's just going to be that kind of game. But if everything works out well, I'm sure Eddie Hearn would rather Josh Kelly fight Boots, because it's an in-house fight. It keeps the belt in-house, and Jerron Boots Ennis holding a belt is a great thing. I think that's what he wants, but I think Josh Kelly may have some aspirations to do some other things, and Eddie Hearn, of course, has to deal with that as well, because he owes Josh Kelly that as well, as far as giving him what he wants as a champion, especially.
Hey, by chance, did either one of y'all hear that interview with Bachram, where it was mentioned that Eddie Hearn had already had that fight lined up for Josh Kelly, even before the Bachram fight, before he won?
Right, but the things that changed is Josh Kelly became a champion, and you can't, we know better than this, bro. We're grown and we understand, bro. Ain't no telling Josh Kelly who he's fighting next, bro. This isn't Zuffa boxing, right? That's not what's going to happen. That's not going to happen here, right? So Josh and his team definitely gets a legitimate say on what he does next. And Xander, Josh Kelly, 3-belt unification. Xander was just on the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny. Xander just, the whole country's behind him. Josh Kelly has a legitimate argument to say Xander's the bigger fight for him. And 100%, I think we know what's understood don't need to be said. The more realistic win for him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Xander, you know what I'm saying? So you combine both those things, man. My thing is support Boots, because Boots is definitely not ducking no smoke. Support Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn got Boots to where he is at right now. Boots wants to be active. He's got a promoter who's going to keep him active. If he leaves Eddie Hearn, where does he go from there? He goes to Oscar De La Hoya? Really? Is that what y'all want to see? He goes to Bob Arum and he goes fight on Tubi? Is that what you want to see? What does he do? He's not even messing with Turkey's not even messing with him like that, right? So Eddie Hearn is the best place for him to be right now. Matchroom is where he should be, and we just got to be patient as fans and just hope, cross our fingers, make dua, whatever we got to do, and hope that Eddie Hearn's able to convince, quote unquote, Josh Kelly to make this fight and keep it in house.
Hey, ain't Xander Zayas signed to Bob Arum though?
He is, but Xander's eyes I could see Xander's eyes pushing for that fight, right? And I think Bob Arum would okay it, because I think Bob Arum believes Xander would beat Josh Kelly. I believe Xander would beat Josh Kelly, right? So from Bob Arum's point of view, it's a win-win. Like, yeah, bro, you want to bring your little champion over here? We can make it happen. Xander's definitely going to win. I'm believing he's going to win, and he becomes a 3-belt. We take a belt away from it. It's Eddie who's taking the risk. The question is, maybe is Eddie willing to let Josh Kelly leave the Matchroom
platform?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm wondering where they gonna fight at.
I
was gonna say, I'm wondering where they gonna fight at.
One thing's going to give. It's either going to be, it'll be Xander requesting a Puerto Rico fight, and maybe Eddie obliging, or Eddie requesting a England fight and Top Rank obliging, it's probably going to be some type of counter offer where the fight location is. It may be in Vegas or New York or somewhere in the middle. Who
I
knows?
would think Vegas. I ain't gonna lie. That's what I would say. I would say Vegas or New York, right? New York Madison Square Garden because of Xander. I think automatically there's definitely an A side to that conversation, right? The only thing that makes the conversation interesting is that we don't know about Top Rank's network situation. That situation might pop up as an issue as far as who's going to host the fight. I think in a perfect world, um, Turkey Al Sheik would get involved in this and get them involved in a fight and get them some money and go for unification, especially if there could be a lineal belt on the line. If the Ring Magazine belt can get involved with it, we might be able to track Turkey to get involved with this and do it on a Ring Magazine card. But yeah.
Hey yo, we got HLD on the panel, and also let me hit this super chat real quick. We got HLD in the super chat, $5. Salute to
Some
you,
coffee,
bro.
bro.
He said,
Hola,
por la mañana café, por la tarde run. Ya estamos en la calle.
Calle.
Sal de tu balcón.
Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico.
Salute to you, bro. I
Yo,
don't know what all that means, man.
Por la mañana café,
How did I do? How did I do,
Bro,
HLD?
hey, I'm giving you an A I'm giving you an A, man. I'm giving you an A.
Great cash. Last me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, what you got,
bro.
HLD?
Yo, man, I'm just celebrating my night, bro. It was a beautiful night. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I did watch the Super Bowl halftime show and watch the new face of Puerto Rican boxing, Xander Zayas.
I was just going back and forth with somebody. They still trying to say that nonsense, man. Talk that nonsense, trying to say that Devin versus Xander Zayas isn't a bigger fight than Boots versus Devin and all of that. And I'm like, come on, man. He was just at the Super Bowl, man. And they trying to say nobody knew who he was. Well, he was there. They know who he is now.
Shit, he's
Dude,
known
went
now.
to the Matrix and came back frequent.
He's known now. I tell you what.
No, Xander's is a star. If he's not a star yet, he's a star in the making. He's undeniable, bro. He's undeniable.
Right. And the fact that he's so young, he I don't understand why people just hate. You know what it is? You know, and I heard the same thing frequent. I was over there. I was over there too. Well, not on the panel, and I was listening, and it just seems that they only recognize when it's not recognizable, right? When they have a direct person in line that they want to confuse stardom with, and there was a middle ground there. You got to be honest. That middle ground was the reason why they were putting down the stardom of Xander. Xander is a big star. Xander has came from where he was to where he is, and I mean like lightning fast. And there's a reason why that happened is because he's been doing it after doing it. Like he's been definitely putting on the fight.
Working. He's been putting on the
performances, and you got to give credit where credit's due. It's not his fault.
He's been moving the right way and every angle. Like nothing. There's nothing negative you can say about this young man. He's a great kid. He puts in the work. He's dedicated. He's everything. He's humble. Bro,
exactly.
Hey, HLD, I got a feeling I already know what you're gonna say, HLD. But what you think? What you think about Boots and Josh Kelly, man?
That's not happening.
I'm trying to press for Eddie Hearn to make that fight between
Eddie Hearn already came out day before yesterday. He was just talking about it. It's gonna be either Puerto Rico or it's gonna be in New York at Madison Square Garden. Right. Josh Kelly in June. That's
Hey man, I already knew you was gonna say that you was gonna be leaning towards that fight right there.
And Josh Kelly himself is saying that too. Josh Kelly wants.
Yeah, it makes more sense for him, guys. Like, and that's why I'm saying you just gotta support Boots and just let him be active, bro. Like you gotta let him be active and be patient and let Eddie Hearn move these pieces around, bro. Because I'm telling you, and I also believe if Xander Zayas wins against Josh Kelly, which I expect him to do that and become a 3-belt unified champion,
it moves the needle. It moves the needle because I got Thurman knocking out Groot in the next month.
That's crazy.
And so I could see then Xander's eyes in June, and then finishing it off at the end of the year for Undisputed versus Thurman.
And Boots side of the streets, I would like to say this: you still have Abbas Baharu and you have Bakram Martazaliev right there for the picking, right there to make a big fight.
Boots
He
has
he
no
just
one
took
else
an
to
L
blame.
though. Why would
Boots
Boots want to
doesn't
fight
because
Baccarat
those
though?
are still big names and those are still high risk, low rewards for Boots, right? Those are still fights that can happen that the fans can get behind. You when you're talking about
Not Bachram. I don't think.
Not
hey,
Baccarat, bro.
well, hey,
I think
Boots,
Madrimov.
I think more people are all right. Madrimov, okay. Well,
Boots,
Madrimov,
Boots has nobody else but himself to blame to be in the position he's in. Because
Why you say that?
taking that garbage ass fight at 154 when he came
that's
up
not his fault, man.
instead of fighting Virgil Ortiz right off the cuff, that's what he should have
He
done.
couldn't fight
Virgil wasn't
There wasn't a fight.
ready to
He
fight
wasn't
him.
available.
They were willing to fight in November. Yes, they were.
They
Yes,
were.
they were. Yes, they were.
They were, bro. Like we
yes.
gotta.
But he fought in October, right? And he wanted to fight.
Well, yeah, he got
Hold
him
on,
hurt,
I know.
but it was there.
Let
The
me
fight
finish.
was there.
But he wanted that fight in September, no later than
Bro,
October.
nobody asked him to fight that trash cannon, bro.
Hold on, HLD. Let me finish. So, what I'm saying is he wanted that fight early. He wanted to stay as close to his last fight. He wanted it active. I think they were trying to negotiate the fight August, September, and then it fell into October. And they were like, we're not going to be able to make that fight to November. Yeah, what is a month? A month is a lot to a boxer. A month is nothing to us. So we have to look at timing and what everything meant to Boots, right? He's really was the A side. He really was the A side in that negotiation. I think to the fan base, not to Virgil's standpoint, right? And Virgil's like, listen, man, I'm going through this healing process. You're gonna have to wait. So
bro, that was a turkey money fight, and now they're now bitching because they don't have that turkey money.
Hey, you're right.
So I gotta agree. I gotta agree with HL like straight up, and that's
I agree with you.
I felt about this straight up. You know, I mean, there's certain decisions. This goes right in the same bag as Shakur not fighting Devin at 135, right? Allowing Devin to making a big deal out to 25%. The long run, it hurt Boots more than it helped.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
If you would have took that fight with Virgil and waited one more month, he would have. Arguably, Turkey he would have been in good grace with Turkey Al-Sheikh. The biggest fights in the game would have been right at his fingertips. Now Eddie Hearn has to maneuver around that bed that they made for themselves, and he has to maneuver around that.
But
I agree.
But make no mistake. Virgil Ortiz is in the same boat because he could have fought last Saturday in Puerto Rico versus Xander Zayas. They didn't want to fight in Puerto Rico. Or instead of picking up and stealing another champion's mandatory, he should have fought Backroom instead of letting Josh Kelly take that fight. He should have challenged Backroom.
He didn't want to do the weight cut.
Or he should have. I'll be honest with you. The Backroom fight, I respect him not taking the fight because if they really feel like they're scared of his health because of his situation, I understand them not wanting to do a rehydration clause, right?
Okay. I see what you're saying with that. All right.
But I will say that Oscar De La Hoya really almost, and I think that's why they jumped on Oscar's neck about getting in the way of that Boots fight because they understood, like, yo, bro, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, if we don't do this, we on our own. And Turkey ain't even interested in it. And there's like, I don't care. Just make the fight happen because if we make this fight happen, the winner of this fight becomes
the face,
arguably the face of boxing. Like, he can take a lot of fans off the back end of this fight. And that's where Virgil, I think, gets his wires crossed with Oscar is Oscar not realizing that. But yeah, both these guys got moved. They moved a certain way. Virgil was moving the better way, in my opinion, between Virgil and Boots. He was moving the better way because at least he was still in the grace of Turkey. Boots burnt them bridges with Turkey, bro. I mean, just constantly. It was the first time so he could unify 147. Then it was the TO situation. Then it was the Virgil situation. He's just a pain in Turkey's ass, bro. He burnt that bridge, bro. I mean, they might get it back again, but it's gonna be a while.
Turkey was on TV when he said he wants to fight Tuna. Let Eddie
he was disgusted. Turkey was disgusted with that whole entire.
Let him pay.
Hey, that was the only thing that I was saying would probably get in the way of Devin fighting Boots, because Devin supposedly in that 3-fight deal with Turkey.
Devin's not moving up to 154, man. Get off of that. He ain't going up to 154.
And Boots, he kind of fell out of grace with Turkey and everything. So I don't think that, I don't think Turkey too happy with Boots still. He ain't willing to put no money up. He said he ain't willing to put the money up for Boots and Virgil. So I don't think that he would put the money up for Boots and Devin either.
He might, because he's that cool with Devin. He might, like, Devin might be the bridge that can get Boots back into the conversation.
And Turkey's crazy though. He might look right now. Turkey just saw because this is the first time we've ever had athletes on the Super Bowl stage, man. So he now sees Xander Zayas becoming a new name out there. Who knows? He might be great. He might say, you want to fight him? You want to fight him, Haney? I mean, we'll make the fight. I'm not saying that's what, because I don't think the Haney's are really wanting that fight. But Turkey may be the one who now says, "Oh, I heard you say you want it." Okay.
I heard you say
that's what I was thinking.
But the aircraft carrier says Turkey's not the end all be all. I hear the contempt in the text, right? Even though there's no sound in the text, right? There's a lot of contempt for Turkey, and for these you guys who get emotional with the Turkey situation, you feel like we give Turkey too much credit or we make him the end all be all. The bottom line is he don't gotta be the end all be all, but you have to ask yourself where they're gonna get the money to pay Boots and Virgil to make it make sense. That's it. All you got to do to shut down the Turkey thing is get the big bags for these fighters. These promoters have not shown the ability to do that. The only promoter who's really been able to show to do that, and he hasn't been able to show it at all in real time for real either, would be Al Heyman in the PBC with certain fighters. But look, Canelo bounced. You saw what Tank did. Look, man, it's about money. It's prize fighting. It's prize fighting.
Money. Look, the society works with money, bro, and money makes the world go round in society. And so, if you got the money, you're gonna do it what it calls for. Especially
it looked like the WBO like it.
No, aircraft carrier, bro. I don't believe you, bro. The fight was not happening before Turkey. That's just not true. Show me how that makes sense. How was Virgil and Jerron Boots Ennis getting ready to fight each other before Turkey? I never saw it.
Show me that.
I missed the announcement. I missed the. You know what I'm saying? When was that fight going to happen? Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's just not true, bro. At the end of the day, Turkey plays a big role. I promise you. You talk to Turkey. I mean, they're not going to admit it, but Virgil, Oscar, Eddie Hearns, Boots, they were hoping that Turkey was going to pay for this. And the fact that Turkey wasn't going to pay for it is why Oscar started playing keep away and started playing that game. Like, oh, you can make bigger fights. Think about this. Think about that. It's because at the end of the day, that fight was a boutique fight. It was a fight that really had nothing to do with nothing except that stylistically it was going to be a great fight. None of these guys got no belts. None of these guys, you know what I'm saying? None of these guys is doing nothing significant. This fight is not a fight that investors are about to jump in and pay both these guys, $5, $7, $10 million a piece to see them fight, bro. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's like a grudge match going all the way from 147.
Yeah.
Oh, you said the fight
together.
I disagree. You said fights. What fights? Not the fights Turkey put together. The fights Turkey put together, nobody was going to put them together. Turkey didn't steal those fights from promoters. He didn't outbid these promoters for these fights.
Nope. Benavidez left on his own, bro.
Usyk and Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? All these different fights. He didn't steal them. The fights Turkey put together arguably are fights that would not have happened if he didn't do it.
Correct. Because I heard them saying that they wasn't putting that fight together with Beterbiev and Bivol. I heard them say they weren't putting the fight together with Bud and Canelo. I heard them say that Canelo and the dude that got the IBF from him wasn't going to happen unless he did it. I heard the fact that they tried to put on record Virgil versus Bud and Zepeda versus Shakur after the Bud fight when Turkey shook Oscar's hand and said that he would like to see that fight and that's happening next. And then they moved a certain way because he puts the biggest fights together. Raymond Ford didn't just go fight for didn't lose his title to Nick Ball, who just recently lost because Turkey didn't put that fight together. He puts the biggest and best fights together, bro. Maybe you don't know some of the opponents or maybe you don't know some of the fighters that are in those rings because you don't watch global boxing. You just watch USA boxing. But you have to look at the fact that big fighters are in these rings. A lot of people didn't know who Josh Kelly was. Like they may have known that he lost to this dude when he was supposed to fight at welterweight, Avanesian. But guess what? He went up there and beat a dude that nobody wanted to fight. But now everybody knows who he is. No one knew who Caleb Smith was, right? I have to give credit where credit's due, right? He listened to Eddie and he put him in the ring with Sabrina Matias, right? even though Eddie Turkey didn't validate that fight, but he went and took that fight. He supported it. So you have to look at everything that has happened over the last couple of years since that big fight that of the heavyweights, right? In December 27th, happened when Turkey got into boxing fully after Tyson Fury fight, right? So after that happened, the night of awakening or whatever it was, bro, he's been nothing but supporting boxing and making the biggest fights. I'm sorry.
Hey, HLD. I heard somebody. HLD, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that if Xander Zayas beats Josh Kelly and get that belt, he'll be the first Puerto Rican fighter to have a 3-belt to be a 3-belt champion. Is that true?
I think
I,
it is.
yeah.
Well, other than Amanda Serrano, he would be then the first.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
okay. Tito
Amanda
didn't have
Serrano was
three. He only had
undisputed.
two. Tito only had two. I thought he had three.
Did he? I don't think he had.
I thought Oscar had two when Tito beat him, and he took that third belt. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Let's look it up. You don't have to.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure because I thought Oscar had the WBA, and the WBC, and he had the WBA. Tito could be wrong though.
Hey, I like the kid. I think he could beat Josh Kelly too.
Yeah, I think, and I really think that's the fight that's gonna happen next, especially after tonight. I think that's the fight that's gonna happen more than next. And Josh Kelly's calling for it, and so
Yeah.
So unifying the titles.
But you think, but you saying you think that if Bill and Devin wanted that smoke, they'll let him slide
Well,
in there.
I mean, money talks, and it would have to be then an astronomical amount of money then out to waiver him from not wanting to do a 3-belt unification. I don't think Xander's gonna.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If Turkey get involved, man, I think it might be worth his while.
Yeah,
if anything, Turkey might get involved for the Josh Kelly fight and try to pick up Xander to be one of the ambassadors or something like that.
That'd be a good move.
That the kid is on his way to be a superstar. They just put it that way. The kid is being moved to be a superstar, and I see that happening, bro. I mean, tonight is a big deal, bro. I'm telling you, it's the first time we've had athletes on the Super Bowl stage at a halftime show, and we got this 23-year-old. And let's not forget about Emiliano Vargas was on the other side.
Is Vargas with the same promotional company?
He's with Top Rank.
Yeah.
No, not Top Rank. I'm talking about with Bad Bunny.
No.
Okay.
No. But
hey, the only thing though, do y'all think that he'll be able to stay at 154 long enough, to make these unifications?
I got him for one more fight. I got him for one more fight with the Josh Kelly. And if there's not another belt after that for undisputed, I don't see him staying. I really don't. It's not worth saying. What's the point?
Yeah,
now if he gets one more belt for undisputed, then I see that sacrifice being done for undisputed. Versus
who's in line for that other belt? Keith Thurman.
And Fandora.
Yeah, Thurman and Fandora. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's Thurman, man, because that's gonna be a fun.
Why you don't like that matchup with Fandora and Xander?
No, bro, no, man, it's not fun. I think it's that Thurman. Yeah, he vacated the belt he didn't want a rehydration clause versus Xander. I just think that Thurman is he'll sell the fight a lot better, man. I think it'll be a fun promotion, and I like Thurman, man. Thurman he's a fun dude, man.
You think he beats Thurman?
Yeah.
Oh, I see him beating Thurman. I see him beating Thurman or Fandora. It doesn't matter, but I want Thurman because he's more exciting for the promotion and a better boxer and a good name, bro. Good name on the resume.
Yeah, I think that's a better name than Fandora. I think Thurman do. Even though I think that Fandora is a harder fight, though.
I don't. We'll see. We'll see next month.
Thurman weak to the body, man. I think. I don't know. I just think that Thurman gets stopped to the body, man.
But we never seen that happen. But guess who I seen is soft to the face. I seen Fandora knock the fuck out. So I see Thurman doing that. Thurman is 37. The guy in the chat. He's 37. You know, we'll see, man. I mean, oh, and Fondora's got a torn bicep, bro. You guys seen that video, right?
Yeah.
He got a torn bicep, bro. He looked like he got 2 apples in his arm.
Hey, we got somebody new on the panel. DeMarcus Hill. What's good, bro?
Got nothing much, man.
Yeah, what you got?
You saying Haney versus Xander?
Oh, yeah, that's a well.
Possible.
We trying
It's a
to
fantasy paper right now.
Yeah, for now.
Fantasy, super fantasy at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with Haney.
Yeah. I think that I will go with Haney if it materialized. You know, we got a lot of naysayers, you know, that think that Devin Haney won't be able to deal with young Xander. You know, I think because of his size, right? Is that why most people are saying it? Because of his size? But I think Devin,
there's not that much difference, man.
I think
different. Listen,
Xander comes in.
Abbas is
Xander
the
comes in
same size
185.
as Abbas is the same size as Devin Haney with rehydration, and I think if he was able to get through the Xander punches and able to box, I mean he got hit, but he was able to step up his game, and I think Devin being a more sound and experienced boxer rather, I think that makes for a good matchup to say the least, right? I'm not going to go into details on other things, but I just think it makes for a better fight than Abbas.
I just think that the Haneys are trying to duck Ryan Garcia.
Hey,
I
don't
think Devin will duck anybody.
Did you not see the proof that I put up about that, bro? That Ryan Garcia is definitely ducking.
They don't want
Devin will duck anybody. I mean,
Ryan Garcia is
the fight he wants. Hold on, he just went on record saying that's the fight he wants. If that fight doesn't happen,
take on the winner between
Bill Haney don't want the fight either.
Yeah, you hear that though?
You gotta stop.
If Ryan would have won the Rolly fight, they would have fought.
Hold on, y'all hear that though?
I couldn't hear.
Listen.
Well, no matter what, you're in line to take on the winner between Ryan Garcia and Mario.
It'll either be Rolly in May. That's what we're working towards. Rolly in May, or Garcia June, July.
In the beginning of that, so in the beginning of that, he said that no matter what, you know, he's in line to fight the winner of Barrios and Ryan Garcia. And then he's even talking about fighting Rolly before then to try to get Rolly out the way, just in case Ryan try to fight Rolly, you know, just like Devin was going to do, man. So
he's writing a Christmas list, bro. That's what he's doing.
He's trying to. Well, the first thing he said was that no matter what, that he's going to fight.
He's also fighting Shakur. Remember? I mean, this dude he's hoping to get something. That's what he's doing.
No, he's not fighting Shakur, man. Shakur,
but that's what he's. But that's what he came out running the other day. Oh man, the other day, just got to pay me. Just got to pay me. You get the rehydration, you got to pay me. He wants everything. He's looking for a big fight. That's what he's doing. He's fishing in the media for a big fight. That's what he's doing.
Well, it wasn't him. It was a question that was asked. The question was asked, and it was presented to him as no matter what. Because if you actually go back in time, that fight that he was told he was getting that fight no matter what. When he became the mandatory for that belt.
Do you actually believe he's gonna
is he not the mandatory for the WBC for that title?
No, he's not the mandatory.
I beg to differ. He actually is the mandatory for that.
Not the mandatory. Okay. You could be a number one in any of the sanctioning bodies. That doesn't make you mandatory.
I didn't say he was number one. I said he's the mandatory. Ryan's number one.
That doesn't make you the mandatory.
No, but I think Conor Ben might be the mandatory. I think Mauricio gave him that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. That's why he said no matter what, you know, he set the face to winner Mario Barrios and Ryan Garcia. Ryan ducking, man.
Mauricio put that out. Let me see.
Yes, he did.
Ryan is ducking, bro.
Yeah, he said that Conor Ben's the mandatory of the winner.
Well, I didn't hear Mauricio say
That's what I'm saying. Don't be capping, bro.
Hold on. Watch. WC mandatory 147. I'm gonna type it in. Conor Ben will be the mandatory challenger of the winner, and this is Mauricio Suleiman right here. It says right here.
It's right here.
Well, hold on, I'm about to pull it up. You know, I ain't got no reason to hide anything, bro. Let me see here. And this is through Ring. This is through Ring reporting this, right? Hold on.
So it's on Ring. So it's on W. It'll be on.
Hold on.
You're right. So you said Ring Magazine?
Hold on. Pull back. It says right here, WC confirmed the mandatory challenger.
Can you mute it?
Now pause it.
I said, can you mute it?
Oh, can I mute it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. But so it says WC have now officially confirmed. I can't read the whole thing because it's cut off. But
Yeah, it's cut off. But it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious what it says.
At their convention that Conor Benn will be the mandatory challenger to the winner of Ryan Garcia, and this is at the WBC convention, and Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. Conor Benn out here confirmed as mandatory for Ryan Garcia versus Barrios winner. It says it right there.
No, I mean you can see it. You don't have to. You can see it. So this was at the convention when they stripped Crawford.
Huh?
This was at the
Hold on, he's breaking up. You're breaking up, HLD. It's not your fault. I can't hear you because you're like coming in and out.
I'm saying that this was at the convention when they stripped Crawford.
No, he playing with you, bro. We can hear you loud and clear.
You breaking up too.
But then it's you, Ray.
Anybody else hear them chip chopping? Sound like the transfer?
Man, you need to fix that up.
No, he sound clear to me.
Oh, then maybe it is me. Oh, you know what? My headset might be. Let me just plug my headset in. Maybe it's my headset.
They had me tripping, bro. I'm like, bro, what the hell?
No, but he definitely see. I mean, Showbiz knew though. Showbiz knew. He said no matter what, you set the face, the winner, Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios.
So then why is he? You see how they play the media? Oh, because you just a couple of days ago just said, "I'll fight you next, Shakur." And with the rehydration clause, you just gotta pay me. You gotta pay me.
That's because they're working on a Rolly fight, and they'll take that fight off the table.
I mean, fighters say whatever. I mean,
right? That's what I'm saying. That we'll see.
Yeah, he said they working on a Rolly fight too. Yeah,
right. If the Rolly fight, like he's saying that he'll take the money fight with Shakur.
So this was in December. This was that post was in December 3rd, 2025. Man, a lot of shit happens in boxing, bro. That still official?
I mean, according to what Showbiz said, I guess him and Showbiz, and he confirmed.
Oh yeah, because the way that Showbiz pressed him with that same news that he's gonna be the.
He'll beat Ryan. I don't see him beating Haney or Shakur though.
What about Barrios? You'd see him beating Barrios?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. What about Conor Benn?
Well, I don't think Conor Benn's that good, so.
I think Conor Benn is good at what he does, but I do think he's not shiny. He's not special. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not.
If his dad wasn't Nigel, where would he
He's gritty. What he is he's really gritty.
Yeah.
He's gritty. I think he has great combination too. He's good inside that mid-range, close range area. He's very good putting his hands together. I think he has things about him that make him, at a minimum, a great dance partner. He's never been part of a boring fight before.
Correct.
Would he be fighting Mario Barrios or Ryan Garcia if his dad wasn't Nigel Benn? Like if he didn't have a really famous dad?
No, he's good, bro.
I think you have a point to a degree, right? I think Nigel Benn definitely he uses his father's legacies from the beginning, but I think at this point he's earned it with what he does in the ring as well, though. He's
not his dad ain't jumping in the ring fighting for him,
good, right? Then you're gonna see who really belongs there. That's
his dad ain't been fighting for him. He got to where he at from what he do in the ring though. His dad hasn't been fighting.
Like the dad let him in and opened the door, but he definitely did his job inside that ring. And like you said, but I agree with you. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. I don't think he's not that experienced of a fighter, to be honest.
No, he's not. That he's not. He's not.
So,
but promotional wise, if Eddie, man, I don't know why Eddie Hearn hasn't brought him over here yet, because he's got this greasy Spanish, bro. Like he's got that like street reggaeton style Spanish, bro. He'll turn it up over here if he brings him over here. He could definitely get a following. I'm surprised Eddie Hearn hasn't done that.
He did it already with Pete Dobson once, and he did it with other little fights. But I think he is trying to bring him in. That's why you even see Conor Benn campaigning, right? He says, "I'm going to beat up all the Americans. I'll fight any of the Americans." He knows where his superstardom.
Bro, he talks that shit, and the way he talks in Spanish, I'm telling you, he'll get a following real quick. He'll get a following, to make a name to fill a stadium.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he fight? Yeah, you just said Pete Dobson. He just fought him over there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't a big fight. It was like ballroom status. It wasn't that big of a fight. But I think they know that is what I'm saying. I think they understand that, and that's the game plan. I think the game plan is to get the American fan base. That's why you see him over here for every fight, right? He's over here every time. He's in the arena. He's
Miami
in
too. Yeah,
he's everywhere. So, but he's a great dance partner, man. I don't think he's overrated in that sense. I think he's earned his respect.
His stripes, as you would say.
Yeah, he's earned it in the ring. But yeah, I agree also with DeMarcus is saying, though, when he gets in there in the big show, when he gets in there against a real legitimate fighter, he's probably gonna get exposed to a certain degree. He probably will be. But,
yeah. Right. I mean, you see him turn away from the boxer that took over the WBO title. I hate to say it, like he literally was talking all that crap like weeks before. Sat there at that fight when he dropped him in the second round. He's like, "Ooh," and then he's like, "Oh, that fight's not for me. I don't want that fight." So
he's pretending like he fell asleep and all that.
Right. After he knew, I think right then and there, like, yo, this guy's he's a different animal at this division. I was sleeping on him, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not bigging up Devin. I'm just telling you, it was a big turnaround in his eyes, and the fact that they sat there talking at the gala in New York. And they asked him if that fight was going to happen. And he was like, no, you know what I mean? Like, you got to watch that interview with them too. And they're laughing and chuckling with each other because I think kind of been recognized what his weaknesses are. He know that that's not a fight he wants to have because it'll expose him, as Clay would say.
Hey, so y'all think Virgil ain't gonna never get a chance, a shot at Xander's ass because they had a little back and forth and everything too.
No, he can, but he's on the record. He's got here's where I see Virgil. Right, Virgil has the opportunity to go fight for the WBC, the winner of this fight coming up. He also has an opportunity to fight Boots for big money. Xander is a fight that he can take, but I don't think he takes that fight right now because it doesn't help him, right? He's in first of all, he's in the middle of a whole inner battle with his promotional company. So that right there is going to move him different.
Yeah, he's just not part of the conversation.
He's not even there, right? So to put him anywhere other than Boots or Vendora is ridiculous at this time. Even Earl Smith.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I think that's what he's aiming at. I think that's what Oscar's aiming at. I think that's what they do. I think they're going for the Fundora Thurman winner. I think they're going to try to get Mauricio to jump on board and make him a mandatory over there. Oscar is definitely supporting Mauricio Suleiman. He was one of the biggest voices going against Terrence when Terrence didn't pay his fees. He's one of the biggest. Oscar. Whenever you see Oscar move a certain way, because he's wishy-washy, right? On one moment, he'll be Shannon Sharp saying, the Ring magazine is the real belt. I can go to the flea market and go buy me a WBC belt. He'll say all that shit on there. But then when he sees it's gonna serve him some purpose, all of a sudden, Terrence, come on, pay your fees. Nobody wants to ring. The WBC belt is what Muhammad Ali had. All of a sudden, he's doing a history class, right?
Damn, bro. You sound just like Oscar.
I think that you're gonna see him even with the whole entire David Benavidez Zurdo Ramirez thing, and you're gonna see him convince Virgil to fight the winner between Sebastian Fundora, leverage that interim WBC title he has, and try to get that winner. I think that's what's gonna happen. He needs to get Virgil to become a
block this dude in the chat, bro. That's not.
Hey, Bubs boxing. Cool, we keep talking about Bubs. He said Tank need to fight Nick Ball next. Didn't Nick Ball just lose? Why would Tank? Why would Tank fall? Why would Tank fight him?
You gotta remove this,
man. Tank has got other issues, bro.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And then
listen. Did you hold on? What did they say? Tank need to fight Nick Ball. They're like 5 divisions away from each other. Yo, what the hell?
Pause.
Bubs, you just
his name is a pause, bro. But I wanted to ask y'all about this though. About Shakur getting stripped. The WBC stripping Shakur, because he went up and fought at 140 and all of that. People was trying to compare that to the Terrence Crawford situation.
It
Yeah,
is.
but
So
I don't think so because when we look at Terrence Crawford when he came up from 147 out of the fight with out of the rematch actually with Errol Spence, he moved up to 154 and fought Madrimov, which wasn't for it wasn't for a WBC belt, right?
Yeah, but
People
he
try to say
petitioned to
that
keep the belt. He petitioned to keep the
no,
147 belt, and there was $100,000 fee for that.
no, listen. Because Terrence Crawford dropped the belts before he went up.
No, wait, Freakman, hold on.
No.
Before you go into it, HLD is going to be right now. I'm going to tell you right now because you're not getting a part of this. I mean, I'll let HL explain it. I don't mind it. I can
No,
explain it.
go ahead. Either way, man. I don't care.
I mean,
The
at the end of the day, if you guys remember correctly, when he left 147 pounds, the WBC made an announcement that they were going to allow him to almost to be like a champion recess at 147, but they also were going to make him I mean, not 147. Yeah, 147. But they were going to put him in position to hold his position to be a mandatory position in the WBC at 154. So when he fought up there, right, he fought for that WBA title. He was a WBO for that WBO interim, and he was also in the WBC rankings as a mandatory up there. I remember when that big announcement came out.
Wait, hold on, Clay. I thought they tried to put him champion recess, but he dropped the belts and then they slid the WBC tried to slide in with an interim title. And because I remember that because they were saying that
that's the only part that you have it twisted. They didn't slide in. Bud petitioned for that.
Yeah.
For the interim title?
Yeah, he petitioned to be in. When you're saying the part where you're talking about the WBC slid up in there and put him as a interim, or not even an interim, just as
they put an interim belt on the line.
No, there was no interim title on the line in that fight.
You sure? Because I thought that they were saying that was the first time in history that ever happened. That somebody put an interim belt. Yeah, they put an interim belt in there with the championship belt.
As Crawford moved up to fight Madrimov for that was the WBO, he petitioned to hold on to his 147 belt, and there was $100,000 fee for that. So bringing that back to why I say it's the same thing that's happening with Shakur. Shakur was petitioned to hold on to the 147 belt, and which he was like, hell no, I'm not paying no $100,000. I just paid you $100,000 with the Zepeda fight. That's why there was a strip immediately, because the answer was there. You're not going to pay, then yeah, we're going to strip you then. And that's that.
I guess I gotta go back and look. I gotta go back and look because I could have sworn that they were saying that it was an interim title on the line when
I'll get you the Mauricio interview. Mauricio himself explained. But the thing is that no, regardless of the fact,
would it be on?
He had 10 days. He had 10 days to make a decision. You cannot just hold the title between at 135 and 140. So he was gonna have to make a decision where you're gonna stand at. And so I'm okay with it, bro. I really am okay. I think it's better for boxing. He's at 140 now. He's got to fight a 140 dude, or you're gonna move up to 147.
No, but Shakur had made it clear that before the fight that he was going to move back down to 135.
Yeah, I understand. Like, this is where I stand on this topic, right? And it's not that it's frustrating me, because it's not frustrating. I think I'm very confident that Mauricio Sulaiman, that the documentation and the bylaws of the WBC support everything he just did. I also believe that Shakur Stevenson was aware of what was going to happen before it happened. I think he's just on Twitter kind of leveraging it and just doing what he does. I think the bigger picture and the biggest story here is that boxing is in a crossroads right now with the way the sanctioning bodies operate. The space is in, there's a conversation going on about the sanctioning bodies. They have way too many belts. They always find a way to put themselves involved in fights that really have nothing to do with them, and they're making money in every single way. Fighters have been talking about it for years, and now it's on the biggest stage in the world, because now you have Terrence Crawford, who refused to pay his sanctioning body fees that I think I'm in agreement with, to say that he owes Mauricio Sulaiman off the strength that the WBC is the one who's going to set the stage on what the fees are going to be. It's their belts, right? But he clearly is rebelling against the system, and he's saying, I'm not paying you like that because you're not owed that. the conversation is bigger than right or wrong. The conversation is on the level for me about whether or not the space is going to embrace this system the way it is. You even have fighters coming out. There's a lot of people coming out and having the conversation about why in the world. You got Ade Adelopo, who's like, yo, it doesn't make any sense. Why should he have to pay this fee at this point? It's becoming excessive. And now you got Zuffa Boxing coming out, and you got Dana White and Nick Khan and these guys making arguments about the corruption with these sanctioning bodies and not wanting to participate in it either. I think Mauricio Suleiman delivered the blow in a messy way. I thought it could have been way cleaner. I thought it could have been made more sense. He could have talked to Shakur and been like, listen, bro, I'm going to give you 1 to 2 weeks. Tell me what you're going to do. You're either going to pay the fee and keep the belt and you're going to defend the belt, or you're not, and we're going to take the belt. But he did it. It looks like it was petty. It looked like it was spiteful the way he did it. And that is going to stain the reputation of what the WBC is trying to do more than a law being violated, because in reality, no law probably was violated. In fact, they're probably well within their right to do what they did, but it still looks ugly.
So yeah, I agree.
Let me add to this, because I just want to take it back a little bit further than that, right? We have to understand that Mauricio has been salty towards certain things, even with the politics of the real world, in stripping champions, where he stripped Bivol of a title immediately for no apparent reason. So this is not far-fetched to say, on the other hand, that Mauricio could have done this out of spite, or could have done this just because, right? Because we've seen the same fighters, other fighters do certain things and not get stripped by the WBC. We've seen Charlo move up and they didn't strip him. He dropped the WBC and became a championship in recess, right? With agreement. And I don't know what fees he paid, but he went up to fight Canelo. No one took his title. We seen Bivol get stripped again. We seen what's the name move up as the WBC champion before he even dropped Devin Haney even dropped the belt and became a championship. He became a championship in recess when he dropped the belt and moved up to fight Regis at that point. He still had that situation. It's just crazy that we're seeing a lot of this nonsense going on just at the WBC. But I also want to kick back that the IBF has their fair share of stripping champions too. I mean, for not accepting mandatories right off the bat. We have the WBA who just stripped the stripped Usyk WBO, just stripped Usyk for a title right after his win. So this is just a base on, is it money or is it just funny? You know what I mean? Are these guys just using the money as leverage to make their decisions? That's where we really have to ask the question.
You can't hold the guys, regardless of the fact, you cannot hold 2 belts. And that's what's going to happen. As simple as that. He was going to have to make a decision anyways. What, do we want Shakur back at 135 to fight who? I mean, I'm okay with this, bro. I think this is overall for boxing. This is better for us. I really don't care about bro. Now you got to fight somebody on 140 or 147, and he's gonna have to be an A. So as simple as that. What, you want to fight Schofield and shit? I mean, like, come on now. Ain't nothing at 35 right now. There's nothing. So I'm okay with him having the decision was gonna happen in another 5 more days, anyways. Are you gonna stay at 135? Or are you gonna be at 140? There's no money at 135 for him.
Yeah, there is no money there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why Shakur was laughing about it. Shakur has gotten beyond the belts. He's a fighter at this point who's earned the respect of the space in a way to where he makes fights off it. He doesn't really need the belts. I mean, he has the Ring Magazine belt. He has a WBO title. He can leverage that in any way he wants to. He has fights that are screaming for him to make fights at 147 right now as well, with Devin Haney and all that with Conor Benn. So this wasn't about, like I said, this is more about Mauricio Suleiman and how he's making his situation look. He's going to war with 2 of the most active Twitter boxers in the space, Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. They're going to put your business out there and they're going to put it out there for the world to see. And hindsight shows that everybody's talking about it. And then you got Max Kellerman, who don't like the sanctioned bodies. So we haven't even seen him.
So they got the machine. They got the machine behind them too.
So Mauricio just put himself in a way to just be fighters are talking about it. It just was a bad move.
I agree with that. He's not moving right publicly. You know, just because he needs to be a little bit more. Look, this I love the WBO. They're open, transparent. They put everything on Twitter. They let you know what's going on. It's an open book. It's just an open book with Gustavo. And I think Mauricio, needed it. Instead of just coming out with the I'm stripping him, came out, well, Shakur had some, at least explain it. Shakur had some time to make a decision. He has until this date. He can only be a champion in one of the two divisions. He could either stay at 135 or stay at 140, and then he will be stripped, and we'll move on. And just explain
100%.
it. Just explain it. You know what I mean? But there was no explanation. He just said he's been stripped. That's all I heard.
That's fine. That's fine. I can live with it. I'm just putting other factors out there that we've seen the sanctioning bodies do this numerous times without explanation. That's my point.
Hey, salute to Blaze, pound for pound. We got him on the panel too. What's good, bro?
Peace,
It's good,
y'all.
buddy.
Peace, y'all. But it's good. I'm hearing y'all cook on this. And I just want to give you my perspective on it and why I don't really like to talk about these particular points, because it's literally not my business. It's not our business. And so as well as anybody knows who's really doing business, there be contracts, terms, all types of stuff when they be making these agreements about these belts, about these titles, and all of that. There's a lot of fine print. There's a lot of pages, right? You feel me? And so my whole thing is that when we see it happen, when we see the WBC simply say, just like it's simpler for me because he did it to Shakur and he did it to Bud for the same reasons. They didn't pay the sanctioning fees that they wanted them to pay, including for a fight that wasn't for the WBC title at a higher weight. You feel me? And so it's like they want money or maintenance fees or whatever. I don't know, because when I try to research it too, I don't get the list of all the sanctioning fees. There's like a sanctioning fee to get you in the ranked. There's like a sanctioning fee for you to fight for the title. Then there's like some maintenance fees. There's multiple fees going on when we're looking at these numbers, and they're just simply saying a percentage, and then they're saying this amount. So it'd be like it's hard to calculate because you can't see the rules, you can't see how it operates because it's inside of those contracts. It's more nuanced than what it comes out in the tweet. And so it'd be like, man, there ain't no point in even talking about it. But the only thing we have to do is just look at the implications of what's happening. And we see now the WBC is moving how they moving. And they're moving a bunch of different ways beyond just, you feel me, simply saying, oh, if you don't pay these fees for a non-title bout, we'll take this belt. No, they're putting people who they want to put there. They got Ryan shooting for a title. You see how excited he got at the initial press conference. Thank you, WBC, and all of that. It's like, hey, you got them moving as a sanctioning body that's different from how the other sanctioning bodies is moving and operating in public as far as how they position themselves for somebody to care about the belt. And the last thing I would just do is I'll say this. Because like I said, I just think about it different, and I don't like speculating because I don't know who's the fine details on both sides, on Suleiman's side with the WBC or these boxers. I would just end with this when I'm thinking about it. And the main thing I would just think about is when they make these moves, or when you think about the WBC, the leverage that they had is that they've been the most like recognizable belt out of the four sanctioning bodies. And that come from other boxers. Maybe it was when Mayweather had his run. It was a lot with the WBC. The WBC sat, if we can all agree, as far as the prestige with the four belt era, it's been the WBC. You see what I'm saying? And so now all these belts is in the mix, and then it seemed like the WBC don't like to feel like they're equivalent or equal to the other sanctioning bodies. And then we got other belts coming in here now. We got the Zuffa belt, and then now, like I'll be saying right now, I'm gonna leave you with my plane right here with my banger. Is who's to say that Bud don't come back and fight Canelo for just the Ring Magazine belt because it's free,
Right.
and still
So
make big bread. See what I'm saying? It's a
yeah,
power struggle right now.
I like what you just said, right? But did you watch the boxing source when he actually interviewed Mauricio Suleiman and he asked a question and he mentioned very little to the Shakur situation, but he was very elaborate and I'm glad you brought up Ryan Garcia to mention why he gave Ryan Garcia an opportunity, which is crazy in itself. But it's just the fact that what you're saying is right on point, right? There's a lot of things that we don't know. It is a WBC written rule 3.13, and it refers to 3.8 or .8 as you read the terms and the reasons why he stripped Shakur. It has a lot of legitimacy to it, as Clay was mentioning also earlier, but it also gives you reasoning to what Shakur did and didn't do. And Shakur said that he had talked to them and made discussions and his views and his side. So, and it was agreed upon that he was moving up. So if all those things are true at the same time, one of these guys are lying. Number one, two. As a WBC, you can change your bylaws anytime willing, or support a bylaw with another bylaw if it decides to go a different way. I don't really care. At the end of the day, it's already over. We've seen the man stripped of his title. If he's going back to 135, I say he does this. He just goes in there and he just goes and gets his shot again, right? He goes back and gets that belt. He goes back and shows why he's the best and he deserves it. What are they going to do then? They're going to strip him again. That'd be diabolical. Then we'd see something personal. If not, then I just say we just let it happen and just move forward.
Yeah,
I don't even think he'll fight with the WBC no more unless they. I mean, but if it makes sense for him, they will. That's why I'd be like, it ain't no point in even making a big fuss out of it. It is what it is. It happened, and then we got to see what the next move. Because the biggest thing with me, I'm pro fighter, just in general. But like I said, I don't know their business, so I'm not taking Shakur's side on it. If that was in the agreement in the contract, and he was supposed to pay that money right then, even when he wasn't fighting for the title, then he ran off on the plug. That's black and white. That's on him. Like straight up, that's on him. You feel me? Straight up. Like, hey, this is an agreement that you signed to sign a contract. Anybody who do contract law, I wouldn't want to be. If I was the WBC, I'd be like, hey, man, you feel me? Maybe that's the agreement where we have you where you can hold your belt through your injury or whatever. Maybe that's how we put it together for you. For you
But
to be
Shakur
in
act like
position
he
with
was
this belt.
surprised though.
No, he didn't act like he was surprised. He just said he'll get the money to his daughter. He didn't say he was surprised. It goes back into the philosophical debate on what's real, and I don't get it. I don't take a side because I don't have all the facts. Some people are saying they should have paid. Other people are saying, the WBC is digging too deep in their pockets for nothing. But if it's in their contract that you're supposed to, that if you go up and you're holding the belt, like you're holding it, you got to pay when you fight another fight just to hold it. You feel me? Because you got to come back and defend it. You feel me?
Right.
Because I
Oh
think
no, I always thought
that's
that
where the
if you
fee will come
That
satisfied
in.
was
the
the plan. That was a plan. He was
I
talking about
always thought
fighting
if
Roach.
you I
But
always
just
thought if you didn't have a mandatory on the horizon, then and you had enough time then to do it,
it's the
then
time,
you do it.
exactly, Flyers. So they're putting people on short time because think about it. When the WBC, because think about it, Shakur has the options. He's champ at 135, he's champ at 140, but he's talking about going to 147. So for boxing hardcore, then you're thinking, hey, if you're going for 147, you might not come back to 135. So why hold up the belt? If you want to hold up the belt, pay the 100 racks. You feel me? But don't hold up the belt. You're going up. You're going to 147 now. You're two weight classes up from 135. Why should we wait when you jump a weight class? I
Yeah.
can respect that. If you
I,
want to
I
pay the
thought
maintenance fee, you see what
I
I'm saying?
feel like he was just capping about the whole
It
147
ain't
thing.
no, it's
Because
not. No,
he
flyer.
said he said in the interview
Listen
nine
to me.
times out of 10 he was going back to 135 right after this fight. He didn't, you
Listen to
know.
me though, Flyer. But this is where cats get caught up in a fandom, or they give or they take these. You guys is giving too much credit. Like you didn't just hear with Shakur. Shakur screamed 147 with a rehydration clause against Ben as soon as he won the title. That means when everybody see that, that's what he says. WBC at with his 135 belt is like, hey man, what's up? Because if you're gonna hold it, then give us the 100 racks, or we can go have somebody fight for the title, and then we're gonna get our percentage right then while you go fight at 147. So I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that's
I
where
think
the text. I'm following the money, bro. And like I said, that's how I think it looks like. That's why
Yeah.
I'll take a side. I'm following
That's a
the
great
money
point. That's a great
because it's
point.
like, look, think about it. Because think if now Shakur just whooped T.O. with one hand, right? Shakur could probably fight in May. Maybe. I still think
Yeah.
his left hand was hurt, in my opinion. When Bozy say that, when I watched the fight in real time, it looked like he wasn't throwing it at the end, but he didn't show it. There were just times where he had him because I'm listening to Moses in the corner. When he has him moving to his right, he got him right there and he won't throw it. And I was like, damn, that's weird. He just was hand down. He was looking defeated and he wouldn't throw it. And that was kind of like in the De Los Santos fight, right? When you see him just spam the jab, but that's neither here nor there. But just think though, if he fights in May, you see what I'm saying? At 140, 147, the 135 belt's right there. You see what I'm saying? Then this nigga say, I want to fight Devin. Then the 135 belt's right there. See what I'm saying? So it'd be like you're holding the titles up. And I'm not playing right there. I think with the time now, you can't just be holding them titles if you declaring publicly. And that's what I was trying to tell you. Hold them accountable. That's what he yelled in the ring. That's open negotiations in my book. when you yell 147, you got to put the WBC in a position and strip you of that title.
But
And I'll land
Blaze,
my plane right there.
he also said that he was about to fight Roach the same night. He literally said he's going to. Him and Roach was talking about making a fight. So I don't know. But all right, I'll land my plane.
But my thing
Listen,
is, I
want to
here's my
let Clay
thing,
get
right?
in. I want to let Clay get in because he's been
No,
trying to talk.
I'm an end though with this because I'm about to end. My thing is this: don't say it publicly on the biggest platforms, bro, because you're creating these situations. That's why I'd be like, oh, he didn't mean it when he yelled the first thing. So it's like they don't know if he means it or not. You feel me?
I hear you.
So I'm like, hold them accountable. When they say everything,
right?
they flip flop. Then it's like, hey, that's bad business because you could have said, hey, I'm just gonna explore my options and not say nothing. And then they can't try to talk about, hey, they gonna think you having to fight with them next, even if you is going on 140, 147. But you force their hand to be like, hey, man, 6 months, 8 months, you can hold it.
I don't know, man.
So I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm just looking at my perspective. I'm gonna land my plane right there because I don't know. I'm not knowing if I'm right or not, but that's how it looks to me.
No, I understand. I got you.
Go ahead, let Clay get it. Go ahead, Clay.
I'm just saying. All I'm gonna say is that it's not about. Shakur is not affected by this. He's good. He has no issues. He's going to be active. He's got. Listen, the new pound for pound rankings are coming out on Monday. They're going to get announced. He's probably going to be at 3. He's earned a lot of respect in the space, bro. Mauricio Sulaiman cannot affect what Shakur is going to be or what he can do. The name of this game is Mauricio Sulaiman is playing into the hands of Shakur, of Terrence, of Dana White, of Nick Khan, of anybody who wants to discredit the value of those belts. And you can tell it's happening because when you look at all the big platforms, right, they're talking about this. And most of them are like, this is crazy. You see Chris Mannix say this is ridiculous. You see Max Kellerman tapping into it. You see Adi Adolopo. This is not about treating Shakur right. Shakur's okay. Like I said, I think Shakur knew already what was coming. He knew that they wanted money for him to keep his belt so he can compete at 140. His position is, you guys shouldn't even came at me that way. I shouldn't have to pay you nothing. I'm a champion. We should be losing our belts inside the ring. You're not consistent, Mauricio. You allow Jamal Charlo to walk around 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years, no title defenses. You put no pressure on him to get rid of the belts. You let Carlos Adames pick up an interim title and you get your money from there and he competes as an interim champion. You have no problems with it. You let David Benavidez collect like 3 different, you know what I'm saying, WBC titles and allow Canelo to walk around. You don't put no pressure on him to defend his mandatory. But then you go to Dimitri Bivol and 2 to 3, 4, like inside the same week, you strip him of his title and put the pressure on him to fight David Benavidez, even though he just fought and had a rematch that he was going to fight with Beterbiev. You do the same thing to Shakur Stevenson. It's no big deal. These fighters are going to do what they do. But without a doubt, Mauricio Sulaiman is not thinking about the perception. He thinks it means nothing because from his point of view, it doesn't matter. We've been here forever and we're not going nowhere. And that may be true. But these fighters are also seeing it and they're like, damn, I saw Brian Mendoza be like, I didn't even know no shit like that. He's like, and I've had a WBC title. I didn't even know that they could do something like that. And he was concerned. He said it. That concerns me. So you're shining a light on yourself and it's compounding like bad interest. That's a big thing for me on this one. Is every little step Mauricio Sulaiman makes takes away a little bit of the leverage that the WBC has in the space. And I just think it's not working well for him. I don't think it's a good public, you know what I'm saying, a good PR move on his side. But he could keep doing what he does. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, yo, let me get this let me get this super chat right here. You shout out to Big Dog Willie in the super chat with $5. He said, so the Shakur fans are now at war with the Haney cult. The Haney cult are mortal enemies with the Tankamaniacs. So can y'all leave the Shakur fans alone?
Yo, that's crazy. Yo,
great cash lasts me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, bitch.
There's no war going on between the Shakur fans and the Haney fans at all, bro.
Nope.
The Tank fans are insufferable and they want to be more important than they are. And they're losing their leverage. Nobody cares about their perspective. Nobody, at least when it comes to Tank, at least. Nobody cares about what's going on with Tank. Tank has got issues. Nobody's thinking about what Tank should fight next, who he should fight next. He's not part of that conversation. So they want to make it about that because this is where they find their importance inside of a conversation. So yeah, don't Shakur fans, Haney fans, don't allow Tank fans to bait you into stupid conversations.
Yeah, no, that's Big Dog Willie trolling the Tank
They just
fans.
can't do it. So
He's
this is what it is.
And Shakur and Haney fans, I mean, unless they're in the same division, there's nothing really to talk about.
Yeah, I think he's just trolling the Tank fans, Cliff. That's
right. No, I'm not getting at him. I'm just making a blanket statement to say that, because I see people in the chat trying to be important, and you know what I'm saying.
Now I do want to touch real quick. I told you last time that Tank has not been stripped, and he's still not stripped. They just now announced that they're gonna, like, in 5 days they may decide what they're gonna do. So he's not officially stripped.
Oh, I thought
yeah,
no, I didn't think he was stripped. I thought he was champion
everywhere.
Recess already.
No.
Yeah,
I'm not trolling.
No.
Oh, he not trolling. Yeah, they literally. Oh, I gotta look it up.
He said, "I'm serious." I think at the end of the day, though, you know, when it comes to the Tank conversation, man, I wish Tank the best, bro. Get your help throughout life. The fans of Tank has always been where the contention's been, and I can't even have smoke with y'all no more, bro. This whole entire journey with you guys have made it to where the credibility of that space is. I can't take y'all seriously, bro.
Tank lawyer was going off on the bonds judge, and so they think that, you know, that mean that
I don't know.
The case is about to get thrown out and all this other stuff. So I
have no idea, bro.
They giving on, and they got a little moral victory there, I guess. I don't know.
I watched
absolutely no idea about
insignificant as that.
Listen,
everybody ducking Tank because he's got these legal issues. That's an excuse,
that's
man.
crazy.
That's an excuse, man. That's just an excuse, man. Just because he's got the legal issues, man. You guys just ducking Tank.
What I last heard was Shakur ducked Tank, and it proves that he ducked Tank because he put out a video saying that he wanted the Shakur fight next. Didn't Tank go on record prior to that video with the interview with Hot 97 that Tank said, "Who is Shakur? Why should I fight him?" And Shakur then turned around and said, if he don't want to fight me, he don't have to fight me. You know, I want to make this fight by the end of 2025, 2026. And then it never happened. So he's like, F him, right? He followed up with F.
Fuck him.
Exactly.
You know, at the end of the day, bro, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah, who cares?
There's a whole there's a whole nother. Boxing is just in another, it's rolling into another era, and Tank could have been part of it, but he's got legal issues to deal with. So when he returns, he'll be back active again. And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Tank fans could be happy because there'll be nobody complaining, talking about him fighting Shakur, because Shakur's not gonna be at 135 no more. There's nobody, you know what I'm saying? He can continue to do his thing. There's no big deal. We wanted to see him in some big fights. They didn't happen. Nobody's really crying over it as bad as people think they are. Yeah. Nobody gives a shit. There's plenty of fights. Right now, I'm way more excited to see Shakur fight even a Dalton Smith. You know what I'm saying? Than fight a Tank.
Tank has missed the bus, bro.
Who's calling Tank a duck? I mean, who's calling Shakur a duck? Nobody's calling Shakur a duck.
Yeah, I've never heard that, bro. Like, I hate to say it, but
man, he's ducking Tank just because of the legal issues, bro. He's just ducking Tank.
No, they're saying Shakur's ducking Devin. They talking about that.
But who was saying that?
How he gonna duck Devin and they in two different weight classes?
Yeah,
like,
but that's
what,
yeah, no.
No, Clay. What I'm asking is, and I think Freak is asking the same question, is what Haney supporter is calling him a duck? Or are they in like discussions with each other?
No, Haney supporters are 100% out there. There are Haney's who I'm not going to say their names, but I've heard them come out their mouth say that Shakur asking for a rehydration clause is ridiculous. He's ducking Devin again. And they're trying to say, and they're trying to make this a sequel to what happened at 135.
I got you.
I do think the rehydration clause is ridiculous, but I don't think that he's ducking them, though. I won't take that.
I think at the end of the day, that Shakur's just being he's being honest, and he's saying, I don't want to fight that big ass motherfucker at 147 with a rehydration clause. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. He's saying he's way bigger than me, bro. I don't want to fight him, bro. And I don't think
he's playing the same cards that Mayweather. He's playing the same cards that Mayweather was doing too, bro. He was putting people on rehydration clauses or catch weights and shit. Yeah. You know, and he feels like he's in that space. But the thing is, I don't think nobody is on that game no more. Nobody's willing to give that up anymore.
And he's cool with that, because if you watch Shakur, what he's saying is, I'm not asking for that fight. I'm not the one saying Devin, But if you're pressing me about the fight, you're saying, what about Devin? He's letting you know how it can happen. He says, I ain't got no problem fighting Devin. I'm not calling his name out because I don't want to put a rehydration clause on him and make it a big thing. But if Devin wants to fight that bad, he can make the fight happen with me. If he wants it, here are my terms and conditions. I'm letting you know that I'm willing to fight anybody, but I'm going to make sure that I protect my interests and I make sure that it's on a playing field where I feel like it's even for me. Because I don't have to, Devin's not in my plans. I'm ready to fight niggas at 140. I'm ready to fight Conor Ben. You don't hear me calling out Devin. But if you're going to keep pressing me with the question every time I get in front of a microphone, I do have an answer for you because I don't have no problem fighting these niggas, but here are my terms and conditions. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with the way you laid it out. That's exactly how it's going. But you got extremists on both sides, because I've come across, one Shakur fan in particular that keeps saying that Shakur is calling Devin out. And Devin, that's the fight to make right there. And why he trying to fight Keyshawn and all of that, and I'm like, yo, Shakur never called Devin out. People's trying to put that on him, and that's why he's saying that about the rehydration clause and all that.
Right. He's like, yo, if y'all want to see it, here's the way it can happen. That's it, bro. It don't have to happen. Period.
Yep.
That's all
I agree with
is.
all that and then some. But
Devin has every right to be like, nigga, you crazy. I ain't giving no rehydration clause.
Right.
They both have a right to do whatever they got to do to make it work for them. You know what I mean? To put a playing field. If Devin feels like the rehydration clause throws him off on another, it's the same thing when the Devin and Tank conversation was going on. Once Devin went to 140, he said, bro, I'm not fighting you at 135. That's it. You come up here, rehydrate. No, ain't no rehydration clause, bro. I've been killing myself. I'm not doing that. I'm good. He's ducking Tank now. Really, the whole time at 135, I was clout chasing him, trying to get a fight with him. I'm not ducking him. I'm just in another chapter in my career, bro. And that chapter, I'm moving on from it. And this is what it is. But I don't want people thinking I'm scared to fight the nigga. There is a way we can fight. Here it is.
I think that was Devin version of this.
Fuck him.
Right. Listen, right now, Shakur Stevenson is probably going to be number 3 on the pound for pound list, bro. Probably tomorrow, he's probably going to be number 3. He don't give a fuck about no damn conversation about no 135 pounder that didn't fight him when he doesn't care. Why would he care? Why should he? He'd be crazy. I'd be clowning him if he cared. You know what I'm saying? If he was sitting there chasing that, I'd be like, nigga, what's wrong with you? Nah, he's looking at bigger and better things. He has big fights in front of him. He's probably waiting on a phone call from Turkey to be like, this is the big fight I have for you. And that's probably what we're going to see him next. Like I said, I'm way more interested in him fighting a damn Dalton Smith than I am.
I was going to say while we there, y'all don't think that he should go back down to 135 like he said he was going to do originally, because he claims that's where he campaigned at and everything, so for him to let the WBC stripping him, be the reason that he don't go back to 135 is diabolical to me. I think there's still some good fights down there and some people who would definitely want to fight him.
What fights are at 135 that are good?
He got young Abdullah Mason down there.
Abdullah Mason's got to fight 2 mandatories before he could fight a voluntary. So what's next?
Okay, so
you also got down there the dude Jadier Herrera.
Not big money.
Those are not big fights.
So what you said makes some sense, some sort of sense, right? Shakur no longer being the champion. If he moves back to 35, can be a number 1 in a lot of these sanctioned bodies. He could petition that. Number 1. Number 2, there are some fights there for him.
What about Oshaki?
He's hold on. He's been he's at 130. He's been trying to make these fights. Shakur to me looks better though. On the other hand, at 140 as a fighter, I think he looks more healthier in the ring at 140 than he did at 135. So I can see him staying at 140 if he wants to contend there. A lot of people are trying to push this narrative that he needs to fight Gary Anton Russell, who already declined to fight with Shakur when he wanted to move up to take it on the champion. Anyway, and that's not saying that he was scared. Let's not confuse things. It's just saying that he didn't want to make that fight happen. So if he didn't want to make that fight happen then, I don't know if he wants to make that fight happen now. Maybe what we've seen happen to Tio is the reason why he didn't want to make that fight happen. I doubt it, but I'm just speculating, right? We also have to believe that Shakur is now the lineal champion at 140. Why give that up if they're going to treat you different at 135? So why not stay there? But on the other hand, if he wants that Roach fight at 135, or he wants to fight for the WBA, WBO, or IBF, why can't he? Go for it. I'm not mad at it.
He doesn't care about he doesn't care about belts no more. He has a lineal belt. If he fights Roach, it's going to be at 140.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna. He's comfortable, bro. He's going.
Bro,
to.
there's no money fights at 135.
135
there's no big five. There's none.
No, I understand.
Name me a $10 million fight for Shakur Stevenson at 135.
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Abdullah Mason, if Abdullah Mason fought him, because they both ambassadors for Turkey Ali shit, bro.
Mason's a pup, and Mason's a pup. He's got to fight 2 mandatories next. He's not on that level.
Next, and then he's got to fight. He's completely not, bro. He's a pup. He's not big.
I'm not saying he could beat him.
I'm not saying beat him. I'm talking about
business wise. He's not in that same.
Yeah, he's not in the favorite.
Y'all looking past the Turkey factor though. Turkey, I think both of them is ambassadors for Turkey though.
Turkey ain't paying those niggas $10 million. He ain't paying Abdullah Mason no $10 million.
No, not Abdullah Mason. Just because Shakur get $10 million don't mean Abdullah Mason got to get $10 million.
He's not gonna pay He's not gonna pay Shakur Stevenson $10 million to fight Abdullah Mason. That's not a worthy fight. That's not a worthy fight.
He's a champion, man.
No, he would have a better chance getting that $10 million if Abdullah Mason leveraged his WBO title to come up to 140 and fight Shakur there. That would be a more than like that's his best chance, and even
that's a WBC that he got, right? That's
who has a WBC?
Is it Abdullah Mason?
Abdullah got the WBO. He got the WBO.
Okay.
But I thought that was an impressive gritty fight with Sam Noakes, and I thought that impressed Turkey out of cheek.
But it's
levels to this.
Yeah.
It's just levels, man. He's not there yet, bro. And like I said, if he did it, that's what he would do it. Come up to 140, which he's a big dude anyway. The man, Abdullah's been butt naked on the scale his last 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? To make 135, so he can come up to 140, leverage that WBO title. But even that, I don't think gets him the big payday.
So what's the fight? What's the next fight for Shakur?
I've been saying Roach, one of those 2 guys is Pitbull, Lamont Roach, Dalton Smith, or he goes up to 147 and fights Conor Ben. That's why.
Why Pitbull?
Because
that's who
he has a fan base. He's got
the money. The money's there.
You do that fight in Vegas, money.
It could be you forget now. It could be a Pitbull Cruz, Shakur Stevenson on the undercard of Canelo in September, Mexico versus the world in Riyadh season.
Big facts.
Yep.
Big
can happen. That can happen.
Because on Saturday, the Figueroa just got invited by Turkey. He invited him to now be on the undercard of the Canelo fight in September for the Mexico versus world Riyadh season. So I
need Turkey. That's what the show is going to be about on Tuesday, but Turkey, I need Turkey to get on this mission for me, bro. You know what I mean? Because Turkey be listening to me. You know what I'm saying? He be
apparently.
I need Turkey to make it a point to make sure every division has a ring belt champion, a lineal champion in it. I need him to push these. I need him to campaign unifications at 126. I need him to campaign a lineal champion in 154. I need him to campaign a lineal champion at 147, which arguably kind of should be Devin, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and put Devin in a fight. His next fight, let's get a lineal champion there. You
think that's realistic that he would do all of that stuff with Zuffa on the horizon like that?
What, Ring Magazine belt? Yeah, Ring Magazine belt's respected, bro. What are you talking about?
Right.
Lineal, that's what he does.
And Zuffa fighters are actually still in contention. They're still ranked in the sanction bodies, and they can fight for the Ring Magazine belt. That's what the whole.
No, they're not ranked in the sanction bodies. No, they're not.
No. Yo, I'm looking at like 6 fighters that still ranked. Caleb Smith. Who else was there?
Caleb Smith. He's still over there.
Yeah, he's still
ranked with the WBC.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Bro, there's a lot of these guys that still ranked, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take away from that. I just think it's hilarious that they're still ranked and they can still move different ways. Not to mention that the Zuffa belt puts you in position to fight on a Riyadh card or a Ring Magazine card. So it gives you that opportunity to fight for other situations and major situations for the ring belt.
Hey, let me get this super chat. Yo, shout out to Big Dog Willie with the $5 super chat. He said Tankamaniacs need to realize that Abdullah Mason is part of active squad now. Tankamaniacs can't use him as a buffer for Tank anymore. Tankamaniacs are so sad.
That's for you, Bubs.
Straight cash. Last me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Shakur. That's what I think. Though, what do you think about that? I mean,
Tampon squad.
Lamont Roach or Dalton Smith? What do you think? Or 147 Conor Ben?
I think he goes. I think he's either going Dalton Smith or he's going. I would like to see the Richard Hitchinson fight, or the winner of Oscar Duarte, Richard Hitchinson. Hitchens. That is a fight I would like to see. But Dalton Smith looks like the likely fight. If not him, then he's going to fight Pitbull. I don't see Lamont Roach at 40.
Lamont Roach is a better fight, though. I think if he eat Tank food, man, that Tank had indigestion with, he couldn't finish it.
Yo,
I think that'll Tank gotta fight him if he do that. He ate your food, bro. That you he came with some decon for your Roach problem.
Dalton Smith has already a mandatory, which is Alberto Puello.
Right.
And now if anything, if there's a dark horse for Shakur at 140, it's Alberto Puello.
Hold on. Dalton Smith got to fight Liam Paro first, right? No, that's the other guys. That's I keep confusing the two. I've got
the 154 guy confused too with Dalton's. I do, man. I'm in that same boat. I got all these European guys all confused. The 154 guy that just beat Matias.
Lewis Crocker, yeah.
I mean, at 140. And then we got Josh Kelly, right? That's the other guy. And then we got a Crocker guy, right? Bro. And then we got a Crocker.
Yeah. My bad.
No, man. All them white boys are the same to us, bro. You know.
That's crazy.
If there's a dangerous fight with Shakur Stevenson at 140, out of everybody, for me, it's Alberto Puello.
Don't put that on the screen, Franco. Big Go. That's crazy.
No, but y'all don't think that Roach is a good fight for y'all don't think Roach is the fight? I think Roach is the fight, man, because Roach
he smokes him.
Because look, if you look at it, man, I think that Roach
bro.
When we saw the Roach versus Tank fight, and to me they were fighting similar. Very similar, the way that they was fighting each other, catching and shooting. They was like trying to counter each other and everything. I think that'd be a good measuring stick, like T.O. was trying to do with Shakur, but his was way off. He was saying like Shakur, if he beat Shakur, he can, should be able to beat Devin or whatever. He was using them as a measuring stick, but I think this will be more of a measuring stick, Lamont Roach and Tank.
But
because you got two short guys,
he's interested in Tank fight. The thing is, Shakur's not interested in Tank at all. So the money is what he's interested in, and the bigger money is with Pitbull, bro.
And the lines are
fuck him.
Lined up. I really believe the stars aren't lined up for Shakur to be on the undercard of Canelo with Pitbull Cruz. It just seems too perfect.
And the timing is good too because he doesn't like fighting that. Shakur ain't trying to be that active. He's trying to fight twice a year, once a year.
And he could get $10 million for that fight. Right. He probably could, or somewhere to that number.
By the way, you said with who? With Isak, or you just saying on?
Yeah, with Isak Cruz, on the Canelo undercard, co-main. I see that happening.
That's a big money fight.
Yeah,
that could be its own. That could be its own fight, though. That could be a fight that happen in August, so we may not have to wait that long.
That's why I believe that he could get $10 million from that fight on the undercard of.
I agree. Juice, yo, what is wrong with Bubs, bro? Yeah. Boy,
Buzz been going crazy like
I told you, listen, we done seen him pull the Tank card from one of his favorite content creators. He went out there and grabbed the card. The dude had to go pay his fees to get it back. It's crazy.
Hey, see, Big Dog Willie said instead of a ring belt, Tank is going to be responding to Judge Gavel. You diabolical, bro. Yo, man, but I hate to end it like this, y'all, but I mean, I got a limit, man. I was trying to only do it for a little while. You know what I'm saying? An hour and a half, small hour and a half. I got an hour and a half in. It's 2:30 now. You know what I'm saying? I got to get up in the morning for Fudger. So I appreciate everybody who came out, in the chat, everybody in the live stream, in the chat. Getting y'all debates back and forth and everything. Big Dog Willie with the trolling and everything. Well, he said he's serious, actually. I appreciate you, HLD with the $5 super chat and Big Dog Willie with the two $5 super chats. Clay was up on the panel. We had Ray Davis. We had Blaze pound for pound up here in HLD, man. Appreciate all of y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, inshallah. And with that, we out, y'all. Yo, I ended it, y'all.
Yeah, good conversation.